right, folks, welcome back to the Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, and we're sitting here with a very, very, very special guest. I mean, there's not many people who can politic, if you will, with the likes of Mayor Coleman Young of Detroit, uh, Don King from boxing, and let's be honest, Jason Whitlock, people like that. We're sitting here with the great Curtis Scoon. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you, coming to talk with us, man. This is like I said, this is an honor. I might actually fan out during this interview, man.
Oh
I'm a huge
Lord.
fan and supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan and supporter of you, and I'm just like I said, I'm just so honored to have you on the show, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's start from the beginning a little bit, Harry. You're originally from Queens, New York.
Facts. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Queens, New York.
Queens, New York. Now he's down in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, you're way past this now, but most of the American public, first heard of you from a very, no, I don't want to say popular, but a very infamous hip hop murder in Jam Master Jay. You were not
Yep.
charged or considered a person of interest or anything like that, but you were friends with him, right?
Yeah, I knew Jay. I knew Jay. I did.
Now I gotta admit, I saw the documentary "Who Killed Jam Master Jay," and if you ask me, you might have said the realest thing I've ever heard when you spoke to his sister. You said, and I quote, because they had no suspects or anything, not very much information at the time, and you said to his sister at the funeral, you said to her, uh, "You probably already hugged the killer."
Yeah. She had mistaken when I said that. It wasn't at the funeral, but I did tell her that though. I
Oh,
saw her one day and she was walking and I said, Nita, can I get a hug? I was just testing her to check her pulse. And
mm-hmm.
she said, no, I can't do that. And I said, well, I said, that's okay. I said, but you probably already hugged the killer. And she said, I probably did, Yeah. And if anybody knows me, um, I'm not Twitter fingers.
Right.
If I say something online, I'll say it to your face.
Mm.
And that's just how I am. You know what I mean? Like if I got something to get off my chest, I'm gonna say it, man. Not in a bullying type of way, but definitely to hold my position, stand my ground. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, and then from that, you had the Breakfast Club interview where you kind of a little bit talked to that, but you more were talking about your upcoming documentary at that time in 2018, the great Black, Blue, and White, right?
Black, white, and blue, correct, yes. But there's some things that happened before that. There was some stages.
Okay.
I did a Playboy article, then I wrote for King magazine. I had aspirations of becoming a filmmaker. And then from there I did the book Queens Reign Supreme with Ethan Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And the book opened the door for me to produce on television in the series American Gangster. And I worked on 3 episodes there: the Fat Cat episode, the Supreme McGriff episode, and the Shower Posse episode. I was also instrumental in the Chaz Williams episode and the Romper Room Gang episode. I had
Oh,
gotten DJ Vlad his first production credit when he reached out to me to get Mac Dre's story told on American Gangster. So having some experience with filmmaking, I just decided to parlay that experience and I did Black, White, and Blue, and that's the interview that you saw on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, and now today I'm continuing on with that, and I'm doing the documentary Born to Box. You can anyone watching can visit borntoboxfilm.com and
okay.
check it out. I got a hell of a cast, and as a matter of fact, like much of what I do, it starts off in one form and it just grows. So it has gone from a documentary to what's what I hope is to be a docuseries somewhere along the line of a 30 for 30 on ESPN, but it's
Hmm.
Born to Box. It'll probably be somewhere, I don't know, like Showtime or another network like that that hosts boxing.
Nice, nice, nice. We sure hope that comes to fruition for you. Where did the media aspirations come from? Was that something you did as a kid or something later in
Nah,
life?
nah. Um, the media aspirations came from the fact that I was thrust into the spotlight by
Mm,
being wrongfully accused. When I saw the power of the media, of how it painted a picture of me that was totally, incorrect, but people would believe it because people, they believe what they read in black and white, and they also believe what they see in documentaries. You
hmm.
know what I mean? So I started understanding the power of the media after withstanding the power of the media myself. So I say, you know what? I need to utilize this, and not to use it in a way it was used against me, but I had multiple motivations. For one, I wanted to change the narrative about who I am, you
Hmm.
know? And in the early days, if you Google searched me, the only thing you would see is something about Jam Master Jay and murder. And a lot of people like that kind of attention, but I don't. So I wanted to show so many different things that it would at least make someone question the bad things, if not just be in awe of all the good things.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was my motivation and aspiration to get into media, to change the narrative on me. And from there I started using that power to change the narrative on other things, politics, race, and now in boxing. I plan to change the narrative in boxing with the power of the media.
Yeah, we're about to get right into that here, but tell us more about School TV. The background, because I guess that's some of the media you created, right?
Oh yeah, well, and on January 8th, 2021, Donald Trump was kicked off Twitter.
Hmm.
And when it happened, not so much I'm a MAGA person, because I'm really not.
Right.
But what I realized is that if they could do this to the president, they could do this to anyone, regardless of what you think about Trump. He was the president of the United States,
Absolutely.
and celebrities and social media platforms, they were kind of treating him like he was the manager at 7-Eleven or something, right? And and to me, that's not a reflection on Trump. You see, that's a reflection on the lack of respect they had for the office of the presidency. And that's concerning because if they don't respect that office, what chance do you and I have that we get respect? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, that's
So
strong,
from
brother.
from there, I took it and I decided I had the concept to set up my own media platform so my voice won't get silenced. And on around January, right after the inauguration, I made the payment to start the development of the site, and Schoon TV was launched 90 days from conception to execution. And it's a media platform on its own designated server. I actually pay journalists, people to write. That you can find exclusive content in my town hall section. And I'm trying to do the right thing because now with Chat GPT, people don't even need journalists anymore.
Right.
The artificial intelligence is writing articles. It's become sort of archaic, but I want to do things that not just for myself, but that benefit others. It's a news aggregator, and of course, I have my paid content. I don't do YouTube anymore, other
Mm.
than to promote my content. And if people are really interested in my views and my journey and everything, they can become paid members for as little as $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. And you can get access to my interviews and my weekly vlogs and so on and so forth. And that's literally the cost of a latte at Starbucks, you know.
Right.
So I'm not trying to hit anybody in the pocket, you know. But and I do great interviews. I've interviewed Roger Stone, Mark Lamont Hill,
Yeah.
Duduzani Zuma, the son of Jacob Zuma in South Africa. He made his announcement that he was going to run for president on my platform, Scoon TV. So it's you know, and by the way, all of this is like it's like a hobby and a labor of love for me and passion. I just want to make sure that there's a way for people to get independent perspective. In my town hall, we say we have views from the left, right, and center. So I don't censor people. You could be a liberal, you could be a conservative. I couldn't care. You know, I say your piece right
Yes.
here in my town hall section, and let the feedback tell you how far you are from the mark or not. You know.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. All right, now let's get to the nitty gritty. Born to Box.
Yes.
Tell us about that documentary. What made you want to put that together? For starters.
Well, for Born to Box, well, the reality is this, right? My network is very, very diverse and extensive. And I say that to say the project was actually brought to me by two guys in prison for murder.
Mm-hmm.
They had been they were locked up with the son of Adrian Davis, who was a well-known trainer in the DC area. He trained Hassan Rahman, William Joppy, Keith Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Bay Mitchell, a lot of known fighters. He trained them all champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Johnny Tapia. So in any event, they were incarcerated with his son Vaughn. And through mutual associates, they were connected to me, and I talked to them on the phone while they were in prison. And they had this idea that they wanted to do something to honor Adrian because Adrian was also training the 7-year-old son of one of the incarcerated men.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened and I was like, all right, I could do it. They had started a project. It was presented to me that they wanted me to finish it. But when I looked at the footage that they had and everything, I decided not to use any of it. It wasn't really done well. It wasn't of high quality. It would have been a YouTube documentary, not to disrespect YouTube, but it's nothing that I could have gotten on a major platform. It didn't even have a title yet. I gave it a title and I expanded the scope of the documentary because it went from being about Adrian Davis to being about the sport of boxing and the business of boxing and the
Mm-hmm.
challenges that we face in boxing. And I use boxing as a microcosm of society at large because what you will see in the documentary is that so many of the things that the Black promoters, trainers, and fighters experience are pretty much transferable to other areas of our society. And that's what I try to do with most of my work, right? You won't have to be a boxing fanatic to appreciate the story that I'm telling with Born to Box. And I've gotten some pretty notable people. And also, I want to add that the documentary, one of the things I wanted to use it for is to advocate for pensions for fighters
Yes.
because there's so many fighters who don't have anything other than pugilistic dementia to show for their career in the ring, you know. So I've interviewed a neurosurgeon and a couple other people, and they speak about the damages and things that happen to fighters. And I also talk to the fighters about that. But that's just one segment. That's why I say it has to be a docu-series, because I covered so much ground. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, to date, I think we have about 38, 38 interviews. And you know you can't get adequate airtime for 38 people
Right.
in an hour and a half. You just can't, man. You know, between B-roll and this, that, the other, I got about maybe 4 or 5 episodes of material.
Nice.
So some of the more notable names, I think they're all great, but Larry Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
Ray Mercer, Michael Spinks,
Mm.
William Joppy, Sammy the Bull Gravano, Richard Steele, Stitch Duran. I mean, on Bob Lee, the co-founder of the IBF, the sanctioning body, his son Bob Lee Jr. I mean, it's just on and on and on, and you'll never see a collection of such notables in boxing. Carl King, Don King's son. Hopefully, I'm going to wrap up with Don King the weekend of June 9th in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to dedicate the film to Don King, by the way. You know,
Nice.
and a lot of people will raise an eyebrow about that. But I have my reasons for it, you know. I don't think Don is a saint, not by a long shot. But I don't think he's any different from a lot of people who are celebrated as business geniuses
Mm-hmm.
in this country. You know, we're not going to have double standards around here, you know. And the reality is, Don King, being a black man, to reach the heights that he reached, there's no way that he could have been doing anything illegal and not get prosecuted and sent to prison for it. You know, because we know people weren't happy with him. Now,
Right.
you may be able to question his ethics, but the legality of it and his character has been assassinated to the point that when you hear Don King, it becomes synonymous with crook.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
yeah, but you know, when you hear Bill Gates, it's not synonymous with crook. When you hear
No.
Steve Jobs, it's not synonymous with crook. And here's the thing: there's a philosopher named Honore de Balzac,
Okay.
Balzac, excuse me, and he one of his quotes is, "Behind every fortune there is a crime." And even the scriptures tell you it'll be easier for a donkey to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the gates of paradise, right?
Right.
So why do we only scrutinize black success?
Mm.
And anytime a black man gets a lot of money, like I said, I don't think that he's a philanthropist or any of these things. I think he's a businessman. And we
Right.
celebrate people who do what he did until they're black. Then we find reasons and ways to discredit them. So I want to dedicate it to Don King, and that's my way of saying fuck you to everybody else.
I hear you.
You know?
Is that what is that something, you know, because I see you talking this about this on Twitter a lot, not only just the documentary, but the business of boxing. You call out a lot of boxing bigots, as you say there are. Is that something that you're talking about along the lines of that when you
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
man.
Don King?
I look, man. I don't know if Don is going to go into depth about it.
Okay.
He's 91 years old. He's trying to get back into the game. He still promotes fights, but he doesn't have a network deal, right?
Right.
So now he has Adrian Broner. So Adrian Broner is probably going to knock this guy out clean, cold on June 9th. And Don is going to try to get back in the mix with Adrian Broner.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think a lot of people don't want Don King back into business because when he was there, he dominated the sport so thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And the boxing bigots, as I call them, they relish the opportunity to shape the narrative. And there's a lot of them. I'm just going to speak frankly. You know, I feel like Bob Arum is someone, and he's Don's primary rival, by the way. He's
Mm-hmm.
90 years old. Don is 91. But Bob, he still has a network deal with ESPN. I wonder why, right?
Right.
Look, his fights doesn't have to make money. He has that network deal. Don got to earn his. What people don't know about Don King is that in 1979, he practically gave HBO the Mike Weaver Larry Holmes fight that helped put HBO in American households.
Mm.
Right? He had a 13-year relationship with HBO. But yet when Bob Arum came along, they started treating Bob Arum and his fighters better than Don and
Mm.
his fighters. Right? They wanted to put a deal together, and it'll come out in the documentary. But Don then took his business to Showtime and built their boxing
Yes.
platform. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Don had King Vision. It was closed circuit TV long before everybody had pay-per-view and all. He had the exclusive rights outside of North America to sell the fights to bars, and he was a bit ahead of his time. The man is a genius, man. You may say he's more than that, but he's definitely a genius. And I think that his relationship with black fighters, the way he raised the bar with money for black fighters, it made it harder for non-black people to exploit black fighters. So what did they do? They took the power of media to assassinate his character and highlight whatever wrongs he did or wrongfully accuse him while totally dismissing and diminishing his contributions. So I'm going to come and try to set the record straight. That's why his son spoke with me, and a lot of people spoke with me, and not one boxing notable who dealt with Don King had anything bad to say about him in the documentary. And that's amazing, because if you read or you pay attention to HBO or Ring Magazine, which is owned by Oscar De La Hoya, who himself is a bigoted promoter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You get a whole different story. So we, as black people, we get indoctrinated with the perspectives of other people who have an economic interest in undermining our credibility.
Right.
So when I hear other black people parrot these talking points, it bothers me. It does. Mm-hmm. And I'm in a position to make a film, self-funded. I didn't ask anybody for any money. Everybody's getting paid every step of the way but me.
Nice.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But because at the end of the day, you could post memes and get on social media and vent, but it's not going to change anything. What I'm doing is going to change it. I'm using the power of media to change the narrative as it pertains to our contribution. And I think right now, a lot of people won't really understand or appreciate what I'm doing, but down the road, they'll understand and get it.
Yes, sir. And we're getting it now. Let me ask you, where did your boxing knowledge and love come from? Where did that start?
As a kid, man, I'll be 59 in September. So like most people my age, I fell in love with Muhammad Ali.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was it, man. Ali. I talked about it in one of my vlogs that when he fought George Foreman, I didn't see the fight. I woke up the next morning. I might have been 10 years old and ran to the corner store to buy the newspaper.
Right.
Because I wanted to see because I was scared for him. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because, he fought Foreman and Zaire. So the time difference and everything. And of course that was promoted by Don King. The Rumble in the Jungle, and the fighters got paid $5 million, and no one had ever paid fighters that much money. Black
Yes.
fighters,
Yes.
not just black fighters, but all fighters, but in particular black fighters, that kind of money
Yeah.
prior. Before that, there was a fight of the century, which was Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. And that fight was actually promoted by Jack Kent Cooke, the former owner of the Washington Redskins. I think they call the Commanders now or something. I'm here in the city and I'm not even sure what their name is. But but yeah, man, Don has raised the bar in a lot of ways. And one of the interesting things that Sammy the Bull told me when on camera was Don King kind of pushed the mob out of boxing. He's been accused of bringing the mob into boxing. But Sammy says that the kind of money King was paying fighters, it wasn't even worth it to try to fix the fights anymore.
Wow.
It became more profitable to own a piece of the fighter because it was that much money changing hands.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, and but see, where would you see that on ESPN?
Right.
No.
Right.
HBO? No. Showtime? No. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
well, maybe Showtime, maybe. Let me say that. You know, look, maybe.
Okay.
You know, yeah, because they might show it when I say it. You know, I don't think Showtime is racist, but no one, absolutely no one, has an interest in correcting the narrative as it relates to our contribution, unless it is beneficial to them in some regard. And I respect that because they have a business. They got bills to pay, man. So they're not into, noble gestures and all that. But it's up to people like me to make it make sense for them. And hopefully that's what I'm doing with Born to Box.
Nice, nice. BornToBox.com. You can check him out on the website.
BornToBoxFilm.com.
I'm sorry, BornToBoxFilm.com, folks. Born to Box Film. And okay, I gotta be honest with you, Scoon. Probably the last 5, 7, major fights. I'm talking about with Tank's recent fight, and going back, about 4 or 5 fights before that. I've leaned on your insights, your boxing tweets to make my wagers. Like, okay,
I hope
like
you won some money. Look,
yeah, I mean, yeah, you got me a couple bags.
Good.
What do you think about tomorrow's fight? Lomo against Devin Haney.
I haven't. I got to look at the weigh-in. I'm really interested in if Haney looks the way he did against Kambosos in the rematch. If he looks weight drained, I'm gonna have to lean towards Loma. But if he looks good, oh man, he's gonna run through him. Shakur Stevenson sparred both Loma and Haney. And according to Shakur Stevenson, Haney's gonna smoke Loma, right?
Okay.
Errol Spence, a fighter who I respect a lot.
Yes.
He got Haney blowing Loma out. But I gotta set my eyes on Haney. I believe Haney should blow him out. Haney's 24, Loma's 35.
Right.
I think when you're a fighter or athlete, period, right, your reflexes start to decline at around 30.
Yes.
Right? And most fighters who fight into their like 40, like Pacquiao or whatever, it's because the fighters they fight are in the same stage of their career as well. So it's not noticeable. But when you get in the ring with a guy in his 20s and his twitch muscles and everything, they're moving faster than yours.
Right.
Look, I mean, we saw that with Loma and Teofimo.
Yes.
To be honest with you,
Yes.
So my only concern with Haney would be his weight. If he looks weight drained, it could get tough for him. Loma's very skilled, but he has short arms. But he has good footwork, which puts him in position to strike. Um, I'm leaning towards Haney, and I wouldn't be surprised if Haney stops Loma.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Haney stops Loma. And my thinking for that is that Loma did not look good in his last outing against Jermaine Ortiz. Loma's 35,
Right.
and Loma knows he has to make this fight happen. He got to pull this off. So he's going to take chances. And I think those chances are going to get him in trouble. He didn't really take chances with Teofimo. He practically gave away the first 6 rounds of the fight. I think he's going to come out gunning, as he should.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jeff Mayweather said something. He said, man, you got to take chances. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out.
Right.
But if you don't take a chance, you're not going to win the fight. And he was speaking on Loma. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Haney's very skilled. He doesn't have the power. But I think the stoppage will come from the cumulative effect of Loma getting hit over and over. I foresee his corner possibly throwing in the towel, not him getting knocked out or anything. If he's taking too much of a beating, they're not gonna let it continue on. At least they shouldn't, and I don't think they will. They'll just stop it. Yeah, late. I see that ending happening around the 10th round, right? Yeah, around the 10th round. Look for a late.
You think late stoppage by Haney?
Late stoppage by Haney. Or if it goes to the cards, bruh, there's no telling. Because here comes the politics of boxing, right?
Right.
Yo, look, Bob Arum, he signed Haney to a 3-fight deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is how Haney got the title shot with Kambosos, even though Kambosos was with Lou DiBella, not Top Rank. See how they work together?
Right. Yes, sir.
Haney had to fight Kambosos 2 times in Australia with an 80-20 split.
Yeah. Yep.
Even as the champion, he got 20%. See, this is what motivates me to do the work that I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
So now he's fighting Loma, and Loma has to win this fight, because if not, Haney is free to leave with all the belts. And that messes Bob Arum up, because control of the belts gave him something to market. If he doesn't have those belts, you know, it's just, that's wind out of his sails. And Haney could possibly take those belts over to PBC to fight Tank. And they don't want the rivals to have those belts because they have nothing to stand on. Part of my thing with Loma's, and trust me, I don't despise Loma because he's white, because he's Ukrainian, any of that.
Right.
I just find it preposterous that after his second fight, after his third fight against Gary Russell, Bob Arum said he was greater than Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, and Marvin Hagler.
Right.
I just don't like the fact that he's a 17-2 fighter, and people are already talking about he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Insane.
These things don't sit well with me, and it caused me to have what may come across as a personal disdain for Loma. But Loma has never said or done anything that I personally don't like. But he is a symbol of something that has affected a lot of us in a negative way. And it's similar to when Larry Holmes fought Jerry Cooney and Ronald Reagan had a phone put in Jerry Cooney's dressing room to congratulate him if he won.
Right, I remember seeing that. Yep.
But Larry was the champ. So these things are not a figment of our imagination. This stuff is institutionalized. And for me as a black man, and I'm definitely on black man time, right? if nothing I do is good enough, if I do the right thing, I ain't shit. If I
Mm.
do the wrong thing, I ain't shit. What you're telling me is you want me to just lay down and die.
Right.
And that's not going to happen.
There you have it. There you have it. Hey, folks, we're going to wrap it up here. We can go all day about Mr. Scoon here. I'm telling you, this is a legendary figure on the come up here. If you're not following him on Twitter, you're missing. I'm telling you, he's one of the best follows on Twitter, and he interacts, as you can see. He interacts with his fans, as you can see him coming on this show. We want to thank him for that. Tell us again, we're www.borntheboxfilm.com. Is that right?
That's it. And don't forget ScoonTV.com for all your media needs. Download my app. It's at the Google Play and Apple Store. And follow me on TikTok, Real Scoon TV, IG, Scoon TV Network, or Scoon TV, and Twitter, of course, Scoon TV Network, and Curtis Scoon.
There you have it, folks. Mr. School, hey, it's been a pleasure, man. Like I said, it was an honor to speak with you. It's been a pleasure. You know, of course, I've already watched Black, White, and Blue, or Blue. I'm sorry,
That's
did I say
it.
it
You
right?
said it right. You said it right.
Black, White, and Blue. I'm definitely going to watch this because I'm open from the clips that you show on Twitter, you know, from time to time, you know. So I definitely can't wait to watch this, man. But once again, it's an honor and a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope it all works out well for you.
Thank you, brother.
All right, y'all. That's Curtis Scoon, folks. We'll be back. Holler back at me, folks. Be well.
All right.